Hi guys. Um, so what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm back in the room. I've been out and about for a lot of the videos, but I want to just talk about the work and the different jobs I've done that stopped me from turning into a little piece of shit. A spoiled little prick. And it's just listening to certain people like Uncle Jammer talks, and I was listening to a guy talking about being like a trolley man, so pushing trolleys in supermarkets, like you see in Dunn's or Tesco or whatever, and people trying to rev their engine at him, and pretending they're going to drive into him or saying, "Oh, trolley boy," and all that stuff. And then someone like, of course, in an Audi and a BMW, they're the worst, aren't they? They're wankers. They always think highly of themselves and think they're the best thing since sliced bread. Just this phone. Yeah. But I want to just talk about how people become that way. Like these pricks were parking in disabled spots, like you were saying, and then just dumping their rubbish all over the road, leaving the trolley lying around wherever. It's like fuck it, who cares? Somebody else will deal with it. Just these really entitled pricks who think that they're more important than everyone else, and not appreciate that without people doing all the hard work. No, nothing will get done. Because like working in retail is not easy. I can tell you that from experience, and there's so many wankers that you have to deal with. Now, let me just state that most people I dealt with were fine. Most people were perfectly fine. They were grand and got on well with them. But you remember the wankers more. Unfortunately, we're hardwired to remember the negative experiences more than the positive ones, sadly. And it sticks with you, and you're kind of there going, how on earth could you be such a prick? Like, how can you be so entitled and think that you don't have to do simple basic things, to be a decent human being, like just leaving your rubbish lying around, and get it a lot with like these yummy mummies and not even just like really stuck up rich people. You get it with just dickhead young fellas and feral scumbags who just think that the world owes them a living. It's not just people who have money, so they want to just get rid of that label right now, but just people who have no respect for anything. They leave shit lying around everywhere. They're manky. They don't appreciate the work that staff have to do. Like I can tell you from working in a cafe, I always put everything together on a tray and I hand it back up to people because that's what I would have liked to have been done for me. So people who leave places in absolute states, with crayons everywhere, they want colour and stuff for their kids. They're very demanding. They're very up their own arses. And there's people who just leave the place in an absolute state after them, filthy. And there's people who are going to make complaints no matter what. And then like fucking clicking their fingers as if, their order is more important than everybody else's. And it's like, wait your fucking turn. I couldn't get my head around how people can be that entitled and arrogant. But I'm kind of grateful that I had jobs that kept me humble, that kept me realising that you're not top dog everywhere you go, and it puts respect on you, because there was a time period where I was a bit of a dickhead, and a bit of a feral youth myself, but working as just a general labourer on building sites, or working in cafes, or working as a kitchen porter, working in takeaways, doing food prep, and working in retail like in JD Sports and vape shop in the square in Tala, and then a paintball place as well up in Kiltiernan, which was lovely, really like that. But you learn how to deal with the general public, and you also learn about how exhausting they are. And then I was also doing security before for concerts, so just basically for a free ticket, you'd stand around putting gates up and making sure people weren't parking where they weren't supposed to be, making sure people were staying in line essentially. And the amount of complaints, we even had one dickhead before, like not to me or the girl I was with, we were having a good laugh, but we had our radios with us and we could overhear like on the oak that some prick came by and just said, "Oh, I want to see your security license and all. Like, who do you think you are? You're nothing. You can't tell me what to do." All because she was saying you can't park here or go through this area, and you know, just all this degrading type of stuff where you know you really don't have much authority, and people are just trying to be Billy Big Bollocks and they're trying to put you down. And it's like, where do you get off on doing stuff like that? Just being a fucking arsehole to someone who is doing a job you would never last 2 minutes in. It's just like, yeah, but I am glad I've done it to see like what the general public is like. But it puts manners on you, you know, and my mum hates that expression, but it really does. It's like you understand now what it's like to have to go, yes sir, no sir, and all this 3 bags full, sir. And there does come a time when you're there going, fuck off. You can't fucking have it, fuck off. Um, but it does build up your social skills. It's really good for that. It's excellent for that. Just have Betnovate on my face because I've got really bad dry skin and I'm getting it under my neck. Thing from shaving under there to keep it tidy. But yeah, does it baffle you how people can be like that? You know, when they just leave a toilet in an absolute state. My brother, God love him, he had to clean out toilets like public bathrooms down by Mobile Home Park near the takeaway where we both worked. Did it for some extra cash, and he said, just heads up, the women's was way worse than the lads. So everyone thinking that women are petite little angels. The fucking images he was showing me contradict that completely. Said the men's was a bit of piss on the floor, but the women's, I won't even tell you. Well, I will. Shit up the back of the fucking toilet seat. Like, what fucking animal does that? Sanitary towels on the floor. Ugh. Disgusting stuff, you know, just lying around. How the fuck could you do that? Like that's a sick fucking animal. And nobody appreciates that somebody's got to clean that up, and they wouldn't be caught dead cleaning it up, but we fucking would. Yeah, it's just something interesting, you know, because I was listening to people who just don't appreciate the menial jobs, and like now that I'm trying to get a non-menial job, I'm just kind of like, I think the menial jobs have stood to me, you know. But I mean, it's quite sick how everybody was there saying we'll appreciate all the essential workers. And who were the essential workers? Obviously, you have your doctors and your nurses that were essential, but people who worked in Tesco stacking shelves were essential because they had to make sure that every shelf was kept stocked, so that all these rich wankers like businessmen, lawyers, and all, like, you know, they weren't the important ones during COVID, were they? Don't need a business deal done. Though a lot of people, corrupt fuckers, certainly made a killing out of it, quite literally. Um, but we didn't appreciate essential workers at that point, and they certainly weren't the people who were, you know, representing arseholes in court or owning big businesses. No, it was your person stacking shelves, or your trolley pusher, or people working in supermarkets. But we've just gone back to treating them like shit again, and the old saying goes, everyone looks down on a plumber until they need one, you know, until their shitter is clogged, until their toilet's overflowing. And then they worship plumbers. They don't appreciate them until they're gone or they need them. And that's the thing, you know, essential work it really showed what essential work actually is during COVID. Your doctors, your nurses, and then your workers in the supermarkets. You know, people doing your basic work that a lot of rich wank bags would never be caught dead doing. But we've gone back to just treating them like shit again, like we always did, haven't we? Not saying I do, because I've actually done that work and I understand how difficult it is, but you know, there's a lot of people who don't appreciate it. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, guys, because it's something that I think has stood to me, you know, and I think every person should do it, every young person. I'm not saying it's necessarily something you should do the rest of your life, but it is important and it does build character, you know. Keeps you humble as well. You appreciate what it's like to put in hard work. And even if you think, oh, why did I waste my time being degraded, and it'll stand to you in the end, you know. You'll realise that I have an appreciation for hard work and just the amount of effort that people put in, and this wanker will never understand that. You know, the fellow who treats the staff like shit, they'll never understand just how difficult that work is. I can guarantee anyone who treats the staff like shit, have never done that type of work in their life because they don't appreciate just how tough it is. If they fucking did, they would be putting everything up, stacking it up neatly so they could be taken away. Because can you imagine complaining about that type of work? You know, having to clean up after these fuckers, and doing all the dishes and cleaning up the table after them, and then doing the exact same thing yourself. You just wouldn't, would you? It'd be very weird if you did, but yeah, it's just something where I'm kind of thinking, yeah, is anyone ever going to appreciate it fully? We're going to appreciate just who the real essential workers are. Often the hardest jobs are the worst paid, ironically. I'm actually going to a jobs fair tomorrow, so wish me luck. It's on the RDS, and it's to try and get in touch with a few different companies, different employers, and fingers crossed I'll get something from it, guys. But yeah, just want to come on and talk about that. It's something that I feel like it's really stood to me. It's built resilience and character. While it might seem degrading and shit at the time, you'll appreciate it when you're older. I can guarantee you that. So don't look down on minimum wage employers and employees. Sorry, don't look down on those who are working menial jobs. We all need people to do them, so we should start appreciating them a bit fucking more, in my opinion. But look, I'll never look down on them. I've done it myself, and I know how difficult it is. So I encourage you to treat them well, and I know everybody on this channel probably does. So, alright, guys, I hope you're well, and wish you a good week. I'm gonna do a bit more rugby content as the week goes on because Le Crunch is on Saturday, day Saturn. Samedi, if you're French. Alright, that'll end it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.